Welcome back to the program. Since the financial crisis in 2008, we've seen a lot of businesses shift in the way they are doing business. Well, the real estate market is no exception. The question is, how has it changed, and has it changed the way people buy real estate? Well, to discuss this topic, we're joined by Stephen Morris, the co-founder, president, and CEO of Morris Williams Realty, as well as a broker for the past 36 years and is a published author. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you on. I guess I want to start off by the first question that everybody wants to ask is, how has the market changed in the past few years?
Well, since we went through the bubble burst and the recession that ended in 2009, we've had a pretty solid increase in the real estate market as far as price increases, as far as activity, a lot of activity, and we've had a seller's market. And one of the biggest changes is technology, and technology is booming in the real estate industry with new apps and new software and new websites consistently. So that's a big advantage for a lot of buyers and sellers, and a disadvantage for those that may be technologically challenged.
So do you think buyers are more skeptical now than in previous times?
They're becoming more skeptical. In the past seller's market we've had the last couple of years, we've had a tremendous amount of buyers, a lot of investors, a lot of foreign nationals taking advantage of really depressed, very low real estate prices. So there's been a lot of buyers that had cash that were not affected by the recession, that have really kept the market really moving. And as those buyers, the investors, have basically pulled out, seeing the prices topping, and the regular home buyers are becoming a bit more skeptical because interest rates are climbing. I think there's a bit of consumer confidence issue with all of the troubles that we're having around the world. So I think it's going to be slowing more into a normal market now, and then possibly into a buyer's market where there would be more sellers than buyers. So I think it's going to even out.
So do you think it's the bottom of the market at this point in time?
Well, it's not the bottom of the market as far as prices. I think it's plateauing. We've had tremendous price increases in a lot of markets. It's not in some, but in a lot. And I think that's plateauing. So as I mentioned, I think we're going much more into a normal market where we would have the same amount of buyers and the same amount of sellers in a marketplace, and average marketing time would be approaching 4 to 6 months.
So I would imagine a buyer today, compared to, I guess, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe with less than perfect credit, would find it more difficult to get a mortgage?
Yeah, back in the early 2000s, pretty much if you could fog a mirror, you could get a mortgage. They were basically giving mortgages away. Now, with the credit tightening, you pretty much have to have a 640 score or higher to get a mortgage, and there are fewer products out there that are available than there were in the early part of the last decade. So it's tougher, much tougher now to get a mortgage, but doable for someone that has reasonable credit and steady income.
So how about the prices that have plunged in Miami and Phoenix and Las Vegas and maybe other former bubble markets? But then there's the cities that their prices have risen tremendously. Do you think those cities are ready to go bust?
Well, I think we're going to see a plateau. And the cities that you mentioned are the ones that were hit hardest with the recession, and they had the highest degree of plunge in value, whereas other markets in the country didn't see as much. In Texas, and of course areas like Detroit, Michigan are still very depressed. So
okay, but so why do you see that certain cities have it more difficult than other cities? Why is that? And other cities just keep going up?
Well, typically, if you look across the country, it's probably the most desirable geographic areas. You're talking about places like Las Vegas or Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, California, Florida. They're also vacation locations. So a lot of people see great value in that, especially when you talk about investors, foreign nationals. They're not necessarily going to buy someplace in Arkansas, but they're probably more likely to buy a condo in Miami. So I think it's just a matter of geographic desirability, just to the average person that sees those places as a nice place to own real estate.
So, yeah, so what you're saying is basically the prices are really uneven across the board, across the U.S. itself.
Absolutely. A 2,000 square foot house in some parts of Illinois, for instance, would sell for 40,000, and in other parts of California or Florida, you're talking 3, 4, 5 times that amount for the same basic house.
Wow, that's amazing. So, do you see the interest rates rising from now, or what do you think?
Yeah, I do think that they're going to be rising. They have risen somewhat. I mean, they're still in the 4s, so it's not outrageous at high, but they were in the 3s. And I think we'll continue to see an increase as the economy slowly recovers and the housing market slowly recovers. I think the Fed will do a good job, as they have done, in keeping rates low. But I think as the economy recovers, as the housing market recovers, and I think slowly, that we will see an increase equal to that over the next couple of years. But I don't see any huge increases in interest rates in the next couple of years anymore.
So I guess the other question, maybe some people, some skeptics may be thinking, is what if the market doesn't recover? What happens if there's another plunge in the pricing?
Actually, I suppose it could happen. I haven't seen it in my 3.5 decades. Usually a cycle from a buyer's market to a seller's market, price increases or decreases. It's usually a 5 to 7 year cycle. And in the bubble burst, we really had a long one. It was maybe 8 or 9 years where continued increase in property values and so on. And we've just seen a couple of years of a lot of increase in value. And as I mentioned, I think we're going to see a plateau. So I think any downturn would be short-lived at this point. I don't really expect to see a lot of property value drops, though. I think we're going to continue to see a plateau in price and increases in prices. And then again, more increases after we go through a normal market and buyer's market over the next couple of years.
Okay. I want to go back in time a little bit here because maybe some people don't know Morris Williams or whatever and how everything happened and started, but you and your co-founder, Vesta Williams, put this company together a little over 3 years ago. And now you've grown into more than 100 agents in 3 different states. How did all of this come about?
Well, it was by design. We designed the company, all of our systems, all of our programming, all of our technology was all designed and put in place before we opened our doors in 2011. From that point, it was a matter of us getting the word out to experienced professional real estate agents that now comprise our entire group. They average 10 years of experience, and our systems are designed for professionals. We're not designed for the newest person right out of real estate school. It's really designed for accurate pros that do a great service and have done a great service for their clients. And so we tend to attract those types of people because our systems are put together specifically for that type of individual.
So there's a lot of real estate companies, there's a lot of big ones, there's a lot of small ones. So what sets apart Morris Williams from all the others?
Well, one of the things is that because of our systems and because we do a great deal of almost everything that we do online, it's allowed us to keep our costs down. And because we have great people coming into the company, it has given us a great service. So we're kind of a hybrid between the big real estate companies and some of the smaller ones. We're pretty large boutique at this point in a lot of markets. And the difference is that we're not trying to be the biggest, like a lot of companies that say, I've got 100,000 agents. We're just trying to be the best. We have the best systems, we have the best people, and that's really what makes a great company.
And also your customer service, I hear, is really good as well.
We do a lot of repeat business, so our customers come back to our associates simply because of their professionalism. We demand it, they provide it. So we have great people who are working with great clients, And so, yeah, we've got a great customer satisfaction rate.
So, how do you see yourself expanding over the next 5 or 10 years, I guess?
Well, we're going to continue our growth in the 3 states that we're in, of course. We possibly may branch into other states, but our focus right now is not to be the biggest. We're not really trying to be the biggest. We're really trying to be the best. But there are a lot of great real estate agents out there that have become and are becoming more and more disappointed with the old-fashioned big box type of brokerage.
Right.
So we are attracting a lot of those folks, and that's what we want to continue to do. We want all those pros.
Yeah, what happens with with some of those people that are expecting to make the big bucks really quick? What do you say to those kind of people?
I say you should study business, because there is no business that just goes through the roof overnight. Now, it could be a short time. I did very well in my first year in the real estate business, but it takes diligence. The key to success in being a great and high-paid real estate agent, or a great pianist, or a great golfer, just really 3 basic things. You have to really want to be successful at it. You have to have that desire. Then you have to seek out the knowledge that needs to be used. And then you need to practice every day. I don't care if it's piano, I don't care if it's golf, I don't care if it's a real estate profession. You need to want it, get the knowledge, and do it all the time.
Okay, so it's just like anything else, playing any kind of musical instrument or whatever. It's practice, doing it over and over until you get it perfect.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So let me conclude, I guess, by asking you, what would be the best advice you would give someone who wants to buy or sell real estate over the next few years? What would you say to them today?
Well, I would say to watch the direction of the market. As I mentioned, we're going from a seller's market into a buyer's market. I think for sellers, over the last few years, they've been in a situation, of course, a lot were short sales, a lot were foreclosures, but a lot were not. And those people that put their property on the market found themselves with multiple offers immediately, and offers that are higher than their asking price. I think that's been in the news, and I think the news will report the news in the real estate industry usually like they do 6 months or a year after it happens. So as we move into a normal and buyer's market, the seller needs to be realistic on their pricing, not overprice it, because we're not in that market anymore. On the buyer side, they need to be aware that they're coming into more of an advantage that they haven't had, whereas they might have had to have made 3 or 4 or 5 offers over the last couple of years to actually get a property. They're going to be much more in a situation where they're going to be able to have more control of the negotiation and have more of a choice as well. So understanding the market change, I think, for buyers and sellers is the best advice I could give them.
So I guess we all have to watch what's going on and then take the steps and know when to buy or sell at that point in time, right?
And of course, always ask a professional.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'd like to thank you for joining us today.
Again, it's been my pleasure. I want to thank you for having me.
Okay, and that was Stephen Morris, the co-founder, president, and CEO of Morris Williams Realty, a broker for the past 36 years and a published author. The real estate market really gets me going because everything is changing so quickly and we have to keep an eye on things. With that, we come to the end of our program, and we thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Zajac. See you next time.